My name is Lisa Franks, and I live in my wheelchair-accessible campervan. I'm Canadian, and where I call home has long, harsh winters, so I have been spending my winters in California. I surf, mountain bike, and get up to any other adventure that comes my way. As a Canadian, I'm allowed 180 days in the US per year, and I'm starting to get close to that limit. In the last video, I left my home base near San Diego and stopped in Bishop, California for some adventures. Now I continue my road trip back to Canada, and along the way, I put my trust in a complete stranger. It's day 6 for me on the road, and I haven't made a lot of progress, but that's okay. I now have lots of time to get up to the border, so I'm taking my time, at least in this little stretch. After camping with Devin and Maggie for a few nights, I'm really back on my own for most of the trip until I'm up in Portland, and then I'll meet with some friends. But today's stop, I think I'm going to go see Lake Tahoe. I've never been, and I have a friend that actually has some property there and will soon be developing and building their own house. So I'm excited to see it because I've heard a lot about it. It's just going to be a short little day trip. I think I'll just spend the afternoon and drive around the lake and see what all the fuss is about. But I heard it's really beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm even looking forward to the drive. So
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.
the friend that has property in Lake Tahoe suggested I take the scenic route to get there, and man, am I ever glad he did. I just pulled over at a little vista point. Absolutely beautiful. It was at this vista point that my day took a very unexpected turn. So I just agreed to do something that might be a little bit crazy, and I offered a ride to a complete stranger I met on the side of the road. As I was driving up the mountain, I passed this bike packer, and he was just walking up the road and pushing his bike because it was way too steep to even pedal. And eventually we crossed paths at this vista point. I learned that he had been on the road for several weeks and was on his way back home to San Jose. I also learned that he had about another 7 miles of this straight, upright road to climb. And so me wanting to help, I said, do you want any water? Do you want any food? And in a joking manner, I said, and would you like a lift to the top of the mountain? And he actually looked at me and he said, would you seriously give me a ride? And I had to think about that for a minute. But I assessed the situation and I said, yeah, I would be happy to help him out. I would not have given him a ride if he was a hitchhiker or if he had been the one to initially ask about getting a ride, because I feel like that would just be some sort of planned way to get into somebody's vehicle. But I just have a really good feeling about him. He seems just like a kind soul. I'm not going to video him for sake of his own privacy, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to refer to him as Leaf. So he's behind right now. He is just taking off the packs on his bike so that they'll fit in my van. It is sinking in what I agreed to do, and there is a bit of hesitation. But I really want to believe in the good of people and believe that this is a situation exactly as it's presented. I'm helping somebody who's tired and struggling to get up this mountain, and I'm giving him a bit of a break. Recognizing that this is a bit of a risky situation, I did take some safety precautions. I sent his picture and photo ID to a friend. I Googled his name to make sure nothing scary popped up. I shared my iPhone location with a friend, which is something I always do. I used a dummy phone while keeping my real phone hidden. I had a self-defense article hidden up my sleeve. But mostly, I just followed my gut. I observed small things like how he took so much care to load his bike into my van so he didn't scratch any of my cabinets. And he even asked if I was sure I wanted to give him a ride because he hadn't showered in a few days and didn't smell the greatest. Leaf finished loading his bike, and now we just hit the road and got to know each other through conversation. I'll just say I picked up somebody on the road, and am I crazy for doing this? We'll find out.
Yeah.
So they plowed here.
Yeah.
Right? That's would have been covered in snow. Actually, I haven't seen snow in so long.
Okay, I've seen enough.
Yeah. Well, where I come from, it's very snowy. And,
right.
I mean, it'll be down to -40 for a few weeks,
yeah.
and several feet of snow fall overnight. Yeah. That's why I have the van, really.
Yeah.
So I can get away from it and come down here in the winters.
Yeah, because you haven't been back home, so you haven't.
Well, I have, yeah.
Oh.
I have to go home every summer because as a Canadian, I only get 6 months a year.
Okay, so how long do you wait to reapply to get a visa again?
Well, you don't even have to apply. There's an agreement between the two countries that we can just come and go, but they do keep track of the border crossings, how long I've been in the U.S.
So let's just say if you come back for a day, could you come back the next day?
No, it doesn't reset. It's like in an entire calendar year, I get 180 days out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be just beautiful just right now.
Yeah.
Where did I place my phone? So this is not so bad though. This I can pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well, get back up. No.
Are you serious? But here's the thing though. You go down, you have the pedal up.
Do you still want to keep driving, right? You don't want to ride this downhill?
No,
I think we're past, yeah.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could take me all the way to Tahoe, I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not regretting this at all. That was horrible back there.
I ended up taking Leaf all the way to Lake Tahoe, and I was enjoying our time so much, I invited him to join me for lunch at the lake. When he found out that I've been doing YouTube videos, he took it upon himself to be my videographer for the day, which was a nice change to take a little bit of work off my back. In an ideal world, the notion of picking up a stranger wouldn't stir a whisper of doubt. Yet in the reality of today, caution often takes precedence over helping a neighbor. I wish personal safety was a given and that we didn't have to take precautions. Despite the initial hesitation that crept in, something nudged me to trust Leaf and to trust my gut. I am glad I did take that risk. Sharing my day with Leaf turned a solitary drive into a memorable experience. I was able to share this beautiful landscape with a kind-hearted soul. It's those unexpected moments that often leave the most lasting impressions. As we parted ways, we promised to keep in touch. And I realized that sometimes the greatest adventures are born from the willingness to take a chance on a stranger. So thank you, Leaf, for sharing a beautiful lunch by the lake and for reaffirming my faith in humanity. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single adventure.